Welcome to the architecture overview. We're going to dive a little bit deeper in this video into exactly what makes Lansweeper and how it works, how the scanning all works and which components are required to do the scanning, etc. To start off with, one important note is that all the components of Lansweeper Discovery can be installed on either Windows, Linux, or Mac, and they automatically update. Now, if you want more specifics on exactly which Windows operating systems are supported and which Linux operating systems are supported, etc., it's best you head over to our knowledge base where you can find the details on exactly which operating systems are supported. Now, aside from that, the main components that orchestrate or do the actual scanning of data within Lansweeper are done by what we call our hub and sensor model. So you can install our one hub. That is basically you can call it a little bit your management, your on-premise management console. It's the item that kind of collects all the data that all these sensors that you install are retrieving. You can have IT sensors, you can have OT sensors, you can have as many sensors as you want for one single hub. You can have multiple hubs with multiple sensors attached to it. That model, that kind of hub and sensor model, is very flexible in order to allow you to scan very distributed environments or to do additional load balancing where you need additional sensors, you need additional hubs, etc. So it's very flexible to allow you to customize it to your specific needs for your size of environment that you're trying to discover. Now, aside from kind of the hub and the sensors that are connected to that hub, separately from it, you also have the agent. Now, the agent is not required. You can do all your scanning with the sensors, basically, that send the data to the hub and that sends it to your user interface. But a lot of times, the agent is mostly used for when devices leave the corporate network. So it's to ensure that devices that do leave your network are always retrieved, are always inventoried and scanned as well. Obviously, if you prefer using an agent for even your internal IT devices, you can do so as well. But the agent is just a standalone piece of software that does all the scanning locally on the device itself and then sends it to Lansweeper. Again, the agent can be installed on Windows, Linux, and Mac, automatically updates as well. Then when it comes to one specific more item on the hub specifically is when it comes to permissions, when it comes to distributed environments and permissions, it's important to know that your permission splitting will depend on your hub as well. So you can split permissions depending on which hub the information comes from. Another reason why you might want to include or might want to use multiple hubs for a specific deployment of Lansweeper. Now, MSPs can also obviously use Lansweeper. They can use this model as well in order to deploy, a hub per customer. They can have a full separate deployment per customer and manage it all centrally depending on however they like to operate. Now, one of the frequent questions that we get is, well, how many hubs and sensors would I need in order for this size of environment or for this many devices? If you're curious about that, please head over to our knowledge base where you'll find more details on specific details or guidelines that we have on how many sensors, how many devices you can scan with one sensor and with one hub, etc. You'll find more detailed guidance there. And another frequently asked question is which of these components is locally hosted versus which ones are cloud hosted? Well, your site, your user interface, that is cloud hosted. On the right-hand side of the architecture, you also see a cloud sensor. That is a direct connection that we make from our user interface to specific public cloud platforms. That is also cloud hosted. Obviously, there's nothing there that you need to configure or install or anything like that locally. On the left-hand side of the architecture, that's where the local components are. So your hub and your sensors, those are locally installed somewhere on-premise. That you'll have to provide either a Windows, Linux, or Mac device for that you can use to install those components on. They will be used to internally scan all the devices, etc., and retrieve all that information, send it to your user interface, your cloud-hosted user interface. So that's a bit about the architecture, and you can head over to the next video to learn more.